What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman. And first off, before we dive into the latest around the Chicago Bulls, happy 4th of July to all of you guys. So hopefully you guys stay safe today and just enjoy your off day. And if you are working, hopefully you guys enjoy that as well. But there's a lot around the Chicago Bulls, and I had to hop on here and talk about this because there is a lot going on, especially with the Bulls' 2 remaining roster spots, and also just with the Bulls signing Tory Craig yesterday. I'm going to be kind of giving you guys my thoughts on that. So first up on today's show, we're going to be breaking down the Tory Craig signing. I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts more in depth on that. Obviously, I was able to, watch some more film on him and really, understand and comprehend what he specifically will bring to the Bulls. And then we're going to be talking about Ayo Dosunmu and potentially an Ayo for Grant Williams swap that's been floated out there by not Bulls reporters, but actually Celtics reporters who have been suggesting this. So we'll be diving in for Ayo for Grant Williams, and then we'll round it out with talking about the 2 remaining roster spots the Bulls have. The Bulls still have $4.5 million left of the biannual exception. They have $5.7 million of the mid-level exception, and then if they are granted the Lonzo Ball disabled player exception, that's actually around $10.2 million. So there's actually still some free agents out there, such as a Christian Wood, Grant Williams, or maybe even a PJ Washington. So we'll be diving into all of that as well. But first off, guys, hit that subscribe button. As you guys know, it really helps us out here at the Bulls Report. It makes me look good for my bosses as well. So go down there, subscribe. We're going to have a video for you guys damn near every day, damn near 2 times a day right now, because that's just how it is. We're working our ass off here at the Bulls Report, so we're getting you guys content all year long. Videos every single day, sometimes even 2. So stay in the loop, subscribe right now. Let's talk about it. I'm excited to talk about this, actually. Tory Craig, because the Bulls signing Tory Craig yesterday, originally when I got the notification on my phone, I was super excited because he's a solid 3-and-D guy, but the Bulls got him for the veteran minimum. The Bulls are signing him for around $2.5-7 million per year, which is freaking sweet. I think that is an absolute steal for a guy like Tory Craig. And I think the number one takeaway from this, he just adds a much-needed 3-and-D element to this team. I am starting to turn this corner on the moves AK has been making. Yes, we have all kind of had this debate, should the Bulls rebuild? Should the Bulls retool? Or should they just, try to run it back? The Bulls have made this very clear. They are trying to run this group back, and they think they can win a lot of games next year. And, going into this offseason, what did we say if the Bulls were to run it back? What do they need to add? Defense and shooting. They have addressed that this NBA free agency period. Adding a guy like Tory Craig, who just came off shooting 39% from deep, his best throughout his NBA career. Signing a guy like Jevon Carter, shot 42% from deep last year, but it's also defensively what these guys bring. The Bulls are going to be able to run out an Alex Caruso, Jevon Carter, Tory Craig, Patrick Williams lineup. That's going to be one of the best defensive lineups you can roll out in the league. And I understand, defensive side of the floor, the lack of a front court presence from the Bulls, with Nikola Vucevic not being the best, pick and roll defender or rim protector by any means, and same with Andre Drummond, our big coming off the bench. Well, how do you combat a lack of rim protection or a lack of, skilled defensive bigs? Solid on-ball pressure, and that's what the Bulls are going to be able to do. The point of attack defense the Bulls are going to be able to deploy at the top of the key with Caruso, Carter, Craig. It's going to be just demoralizing for opposing teams' offenses, and I think they're going to be really disruptive. And plus, they're all super long. Tory Craig, 6'7". If the Bulls do bring back Ayo, he's got that super long wingspan. Alex Caruso, we know his wingspan and his athletic prowess. I think the Bulls next season are going to be one of the better defensive teams in the NBA, and I think Tory Craig just kind of adds to that. I think the Bulls are trying to create an identity right now. You don't want to be, a team in the NBA with no identity, and the Bulls are starting to get one with adding a guy like Tory Craig, just adding that extra defensive just kind of dog and that extra just guy you could throw on, other teams' star players. Tory Craig, I am a big fan of this signing. I've been able to hop into his film, super long, rangy wing. I just think he's going to add a much-needed defensive presence to this Bulls team. But the second topic on today's show, a bunch of Celtics reporters have been throwing out a potential Grant Williams for Ayo Dosunmu swap. They're both restricted free agents. Obviously, Ayo for the Bulls, Grant Williams for the Celtics. And with the Celtics in the need of a point guard and the Bulls kind of in need for maybe more of a true four, people have been starting to kind of connect the dots here. Could Ayo be heading to Boston and Grant Williams be heading to Chicago? My initial thoughts on this, I think Grant Williams is a better player right now than Ayo. I wouldn't do this, though. I am a big fan of Ayo's game. I think he is going to be kind of eventually in his NBA career that kind of Bruce Brown mold of point guard and that kind of archetype of really strong defensively, cuts really well, makes the right play. I think Ayo has winning player written all over him. I think Grant Williams does too. So if in terms of an Ayo for Grant Williams swap, I would be against it. But if just in terms of signing Grant Williams, maybe if the Bulls offer him, that disabled player exception for a 1-year prove-it deal, I would be all in. But if you would have to give up Ayo for it, that's kind of where I draw the line. So overall, I would be off on that move of an Ayo for Grant Williams swap. But, the Bulls, they still have 2 remaining roster spots left, and they still have a decent amount of money that they could kind of deploy with their 3 exceptions. So round out today's show, we're going to be going over 3 free agent targets, including Grant Williams, that I think the Bulls should consider signing. We can start off with the number 1 option, Christian Wood. Christian Wood being the 3-level scorer that played for the Dallas Mavericks this past season. He's an unreal talent in terms of, scoring at the 3-point line, be able to get to his midi and get to his spot in that area, and then also be able to put the ball on the deck and get to the rim. Christian Wood this past year for the Mavs, he's still great in that scoring outburst. But the only thing with Christian Wood, then, it's kind of that, lack of defensive intensity. Wood has never been a good defender in the NBA, and, maybe if he would, if the Bulls would sign him, they would kind of maybe unlock that. But in terms of what the Bulls need, I think they need more scoring from that front court spot, because all the Bulls' production will most likely offensively come from LaVine, DeRozan. Obviously Vooch will add you some juice there, but from that wing spot, unless you see Patrick Williams taking that huge jump in terms of the scoring production, I think Christian Wood would actually be a great option. And I actually think the Bulls could maybe get him for the biannual or the mid-level. I don't think they would need to deploy the disabled player exception if they are eventually granted that. I think you could maybe get Christian Wood for maybe a year for $5.7 million, because the Bulls have $5.7 million left on that mid-level exception. I think maybe the Bulls could get him there. So, keep that in mind. Christian Wood's a name out there. The Bulls need to address that front court, and he would be honestly a perfect fit. But let's talk about P.J. Washington, the next name on this list. P.J. Washington, 6'7", rangy wing. He is pretty much a more, when I was watching and breaking him down, he's more of a offensive version, or maybe, offensive version is the word we'll go with this, than Tory Craig. Or maybe he's just more offensively skilled than Tory Craig. He's just came off a season averaging 15.5 points a game. He shoots a 3-ball decently well. He's an okay catch-and-shoot shooter. But again, it's the rangy, athletic, defensive wing. And if you could tell me, the Bulls, let's just say we're talking starting lineups right now, I'd probably lean towards Javon Carter being the starting point guard over Kobe White as of right now. That's just what I would do if I was obviously the head coach, but I'm not. I would probably go Javon Carter at the 1. I would go Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan, obviously at the 2 and the 3. And then if you could go P-Dub at the 4 and then Vooch at the 5 as your starting unit. And then if your bench unit, if you could roll out maybe a Caruso, Kobe White, P.J. Washington with a Torrey Craig and Andre Drummond, the Bulls are going to have 10 guys that I really feel confident in playing. I will make this note. Who's actually ended up getting screwed by the Bulls' free agency moves? Is a guy like Dalen Terry. I just don't really see how Dalen Terry is going to, have a consistent, role with this group right now. I just think he's kind of getting, flushed out of this rotation just because of the signings the Bulls have had. He's obviously not going to get a lot of minutes at that wing spot or that guard spot because the Bulls are loaded there. And especially if they will bring back Ayo or sign a guy like P.J. Washington, maybe we got to wait till next season to see Dalen Terry. But hey, we could also always watch him in the Summer League that gets going July 8th. And also, key note here for all the real ones on the channel that are still watching, I am going to be doing reaction videos for the Summer League game. I'm going to be watching the game, and I'll hop on here right away and a video out for you guys ASAP. So if you guys are excited about that, and if you guys are still watching right now, just comment Bulls Summer League down in the comments if you are excited for that. Because, hey, we're about 10 minutes into today's video, and if you're still watching, I know you're a real one. And if you would want some Bulls Summer League videos, just type Bulls Summer League down in the comments. I'll be giving my reaction and more an in-depth breakdown for you guys, right after that. But 3 names to keep out there to kind of wrap up today's show: Christian Wood, Grant Williams, and PJ Washington. I think would be 3 really solid additions for the Bulls. Torrey Craig adds a much-needed 3-and-D presence to the Bulls. Overall, I've honestly loved the 2 moves the Bulls have made of Torrey Craig and Javon Carter. Ayo Dosunmu, we talked about a potential swap for him and Grant Williams. Again, not a big fan of it. I just would rather, keep Ayo. I would rather have Ayo on the Bulls than Grant Williams, even though Grant Williams probably addresses a need a little more than Ayo does. But I just think Ayo, he's a hometown kid. We're not trading him for Grant Williams. I'm just not going to let that happen. And we kind of broke down where the Bulls roster sits. They have $4.5 million of the biannual. They have $5.7 left of the mid-level, and they obviously have that $10.2 of the disabled player exception, which is yet to be accepted, but we shall see on that. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Happy 4th of July. Go enjoy your day, and we'll see you guys next time. Go Bulls.